Hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, Mama. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday.
We just wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
And happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gamma. I love you.
Can't wait to see you down in Mexico, and I'm really excited for all of us to get to spend our birthdays and get together again.
We're so excited to be in Mexico with you and wanted to share a couple stories.
We're all getting together to send you some fond memories we have had being with you over the years.
And share some of our favorite memories of spending time with you.
But yeah, all my favorite memories, of our childhoods and of spending time with you.
Obviously, there are many of them,
That time you got me a birthday cake with lavender in it.
but I just thought I'd highlight a few.
That time we had to lie to Andrew about when his birthday was when the waitress sang him happy birthday.
Here are a couple of the highlights.
One of my fondest memories and one of my earliest memories. Think back to when 17-year-old Alex and 18-year-old Elizabeth were going to Mongolia. And you insisted that we take a satellite phone with us. And being a 17-year-old boy, I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And lo and behold, we needed that satellite phone to be able to call for help because we were abandoned somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And then you and Dad went into crisis mode, and one day somebody just showed up, shoveled us into a car, and we ended up back in the capital city. So I don't really know what went on behind the scenes, but I always remember how calm, collected, and poised you were during that entire situation, and how it was very just matter of fact that somehow we were abandoned in the middle of nowhere. And I think I've taken that with me, just that you can be calm and poised throughout pretty much any situation. And you know what? It kind of saved Elizabeth and I from just a really awkward, weird abandonment situation. So I've always appreciated that. And, thank you.
And I hope that Mexico is fantastic and nobody's parasail crashes into the ocean.
And I'm just excited to go somewhere new with you. One of my favorite parts about, the way you raised us and our whole family has been, your enthusiasm to go new places and explore, and I think about that a lot in terms of, the things I love. Like this is the Wind River in Washington here where I haven't been before. It's a new river for me and really pretty. But yeah, all my favorite memories, of our childhoods and of spending time with you has been when we've gotten to go new places, and your zeal for always seeing what's around the next bend, or kind of trying out someplace new, or trying every new dish on a menu at a restaurant or something. But
Of course, how can I forget the African safaris you took us on? In particular, the one where Wilson and I got to climb Mount Kilimanjaro and then join you later at Singita Saburo. I'll never forget those safari tents they had us in, which were very deluxe. And the animals that we saw, and then the trip to Zanzibar, staying at that resort with the casitas and amazing buffets, and we even went snorkeling. That was a spectacular trip.
And no crabs attack the house.
One of the most favorite memories that we had at the ranch over the holidays. It's always a real treat to get to go out there and to spend time with them.
I think that every single year you put in an extraordinary amount of effort to make it feel just like home. You spend hours and hours decorating the entire house, often, having my father schlep everything up the stairs and getting everything ready for us to come over. And whenever we get there, it's always so warm and welcoming, and you are the one really in charge of making that happen, and the house is always so full of holiday cheer and delicious food, and of course puzzles.
And no giant moths come flying in because there are no walls.
When we first met, you took me jeeping in Moab. Many years ago. I think it was in October or November. And the first place you took me was a poison spider. And I distinctly remember getting out of the Jeep when we got to the first obstacle, because I just couldn't believe that you could drive over that thing. And you insisted you could, and I should have listened to you, of course. But nevertheless, I got out of the vehicle because I didn't believe you, and you promptly showed me how you could drive over an obstacle like that. And afterwards, of course, I felt very foolish, and I should have believed that you could do that kind of thing, but I'd never seen anybody Jeep like that. And you clearly had the Jeeping skills. We then climbed up the rest of Poison Spider, and you even let me drive a couple obstacles on the way down. And I fondly remember getting to one obstacle that had a kind of a weird angle to it, and you got out of the Jeep to help guide me. And as I was going down that obstacle, I distinctly remember you screaming at me to straighten it out or turn it a certain way, and I came so close to flipping the Jeep that it was pretty crazy. But I made it through, and we got down, and I was very impressed with your driving skill.
A memory that sticks out to me was probably one of the first times, if not the first time I met you in Moab. Alex and I were just starting to date, maybe 6 months in, less than a year. And I remember we had dinner with you and Sandy, Mexican margaritas, of course. And we started talking about art and your love for family. And in my memory, the guys just kind of disappeared at that moment, and you and I just kept talking and talking. And in that moment, I definitely walked away from that conversation just admiring your love for your family and just realizing the amount of shared interest that we have with our passion for art and just being surrounded by the people that we love. And I will just cherish that memory and those margaritas.
And, but nevertheless, I hope we get into some other kind of adventures.
Then, of course, how can we forget our wedding? You wore red, I was in a dark suit. Randy Klauser, my partner, married us. We had Loose Change playing awesome dance music, and everybody at the party danced. We had that chocolate fountain, that was a favorite. And we even had a tequila luge, which I think everybody imbibed on and enjoyed. Some too much to the dismay of Andrew. But that was an amazing night, and we topped it off with fireworks.
I'm a big fan of puzzles. I think that one of my favorite parts of the holidays is just getting to go over to spend time hanging out with everyone, working on, puzzles, maybe doing some of the smaller ones in one sitting, or some of the bigger ones take a couple of days. I really look forward to getting to help put the family puzzle together every year. That's what
I think when we're there, honestly, we are really spending multiple days sitting at the puzzle table with you, just chatting. I'm really there to assist you and Ella in putting these things together. You're both the masterminds. And usually I'm over there eating many ham sandwiches, which is the source of one of our favorite stories that we love to tell everyone about hating on Christmas ham, where, of course, somehow that dog ate half of a ham in about 2 minutes. It is really, honestly, one of our favorite holiday memories.
we'll never get over it. We love it.
But anyway.
He's fighting.
He is smiling. Show him how you smile.
Our trip to England and Scotland that we went on, I think it was the following fall, and it was pretty awesome. We flew into London, took a train up to Edinburgh, pretty impressive architecture in Edinburgh. We rented a car that I got to drive up to Fort William, and I got to tell you, that was pretty uncomfortable just because driving on the wrong side of the road on the wrong side of a car, that took some getting used to. But when we got to Fort William, we stayed at that bed and breakfast that frankly had really good food. And then we promptly went up and climbed Ben Nevis, which is the tallest mountain in Great Britain. And although it's only 4,000 feet, it nevertheless was quite a bit of vertical, and you basically ran up that thing. And not only did we take that hike, but we took several other hikes while we were up there. And then afterwards, we returned to England and to London and attended a black tie charity event where Van Morrison was playing. And that was just an awesome evening because you and I got to dance to Van Morrison. And that was certainly the highlight of the trip. And you were spectacular that night.
And we just wanted to wish you a very, very happy birthday and let you know how much you mean to us.
Happy birthday, Grandma. I love you.
Love you.
I love you, and
So I love you, babe. You have a big heart.
We love you very much.
I hope you have a great day.
I love your big heart and your generosity.
happy 65, and I can't wait to see you.
Happy birthday, Grandma. I love you.
Happy 65th birthday. Hope to see you soon.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Beth.
And happy birthday, and may you have many more happy birthdays. Love you, Beth.